Pixel Perfect Podcast.
Well, we all didn't say anything.
Okay, do you want me to start it then?
Where are we going?
Okay.
This is we're just riffing. This is edgy radio.
Yeah.
Radio.
This is Pixel Perfect Podcast, Episode 2. I'm Mark Langell.
I'm Matt Flowers.
Mike Byrne.
And we're back for episode... Obviously, it's Episode 2, so we're back again.
It's probably the best episode 2
The fans demanded it,
Yep.
and here it is.
Back by popular demand?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're back in black.
Black and black.
Back in black.
But yeah.
You know who's back in black?
Axl Rose.
Axl Rose is back in black.
I heard that he was actually pretty good.
He...
I have a hard time believing that.
There is recordings of him playing with AC/DC, and he sounds a bit like Brian Johnson.
Yeah, I was very surprised to hear that. That people said that he was not that bad.
I'm not concerned that he
Not
was
that
bad. I'm concerned that I've seen videos where it sounds like he has bronchitis and can't sing no more.
Yeah, he's a little bit maybe out of shape. Maybe hitting all those high notes. And I think to be a big singer like that, you need to have a large lung capacity. And his last couple of decades of living, probably not.
The best.
Yeah.
Most conducive for a man's health.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be back in black.
He sounded pretty good. It wasn't too bad from what I heard.
So
Not buying a ticket.
Yeah.
I have to fly out for that too. So
But
You know someone who's going to go see him.
Tracy.
Oh, Drover was going to go.
Yeah, well, Tracy is too.
Oh. So they're very strong, good opinions, I'm sure.
Well, they're first-hand opinions.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Tracy said she's going out for the Guns N' Roses reunion. Drover, I think he's going to be there when it's happening, so he said he might as well go. Which, like you would, right?
yeah,
And I don't know. I'm not a fan of Guns N' Roses, to be honest.
neither am I.
I
But
own one of their albums, and it is the Spaghetti Incident.
oh god, I think about that more
The
than I should.
worst one
I
by
think about
far.
It's all crummy covers.
I think
Yeah.
of that album name and why it's that
story
name
behind
more
it.
than I should.
I can't look at the album cover for too long without getting vivid images.
Well,
Because
I-
it's just a close-up of spaghetti.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
that's all
God.
it is.
Yeah.
Because
Actually, no, that is not the worst one. What's the one that took them 10 years to make?
Chinese Democracy?
Chinese Democracy, and I heard it was
Ugh.
atrocious. I never listened to it. I don't have a full on. I just heard.
but
Go
just
by other people's opinions.
when I think of that,
You think about the real
I
Spaghetti
think of
Incident.
the real spaghetti incident. And
Ugh.
when I was down in Punta Cana, we were walking somewhere because it was like a big complex of resorts. It was like 4 resorts. You had to go across one of them to get to something we were going to. And like steps and then like a ramp for wheelchairs. I was kind of half paying attention. I was walking up the ramp and I noticed like a little sort of 2 traffic cones with like caution tape around it. And I kind of looked up and I stopped and I looked at what it was. Ugh, even thinking about it makes me sick.
Somebody had spaghetti.
Someone had spaghetti.
Don't need to go any further.
And
This is on a resort where drinking is free.
a lot of
It's very-
fuck. Even thinking about it. A lot of chocolate.
Stop.
It's very hot.
Yeah. It was the hot spaghetti incident.
Oh, it's making me gag. Oh, but yeah.
The dried spaghetti incident. Okay.
I can't even
sorry,
think
Matt.
about that album and not think about that in Punta Cana
Yeah.
because it makes me
Why?
fucking wretch.
Because the actual Motley Crue Spaghetti Incident story
That is terrible.
that the Guns N' Roses took as the title of their fucking cover album is epic.
Oh, that's
That word gets
disgusting.
thrown a lot around lately,
It is.
but I think epic is really what that should be classified as. 'cause
If it's Motley Crue, it's epic.
yeah,
Isn't that the guy with one armed drummer?
that's
Or-
Def
That's
Leppard.
definitely
Okay, I don't know these bands really, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Motley Crue in their heyday
Mhm.
was, if you were on the tour bus for Motley Crue at any point in time, from what I gathered, there was some debauchery going on.
Oh,
There was some
yeah.
crazy nakedness and drug and alcohol induced
Like a
something.
Yeah,
It's like
Wow.
Christmas party.
yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
That's what it's like.
I'm
Kickstart
working at
my
the wrong
heart.
spot.
No, you're not. You're not missing a thing.
Motley
Okay.
Crue's "Kickstart My Heart" is written about a fan who was a paramedic on the scene when Nikki Sixx OD'd and had to Pulp Fiction his heart.
Oh man,
To,
like
I believe
adrenaline.
that.
And he was like, "You're a good man, fan. I'm gonna make a song about you."
He used to talk like that all the time.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
That's a really good song, though.
Look at
I
my
really
brothers
like
too.
Can Start My Heart.
When they come
It's
to the
really-
theater, they expect hot popcorn and cold sodas.
Oh,
God.
Gremlins 2.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Isn't he dead?
Gremlins?
Hulk Hogan.
No,
No.
Why isn't he dead?
he's dead in
Sorry.
the canon of the WWE.
In his fucking
His kayfabe is
his
dead.
kayfabe. Fabe. He's dead.
He's got dead, cold eyes.
Oh,
He
Yeah.
still walks the earth.
why is he alive? He's terrible.
He's a large, sweaty, leathery man.
There's lots of those.
Yep, the world needs
He's
more.
he's like a raisin, he is.
Ugh. Like a blonde raisin.
Blonde, goatee raisin.
Oh, do you know the guy from? You just made me think of the guy from
Why?
the little old man who comes and he's a little short and
Why?
Yeah.
is he's just this little raisin of an old man. Then that made me think. So
Why?
fucking
Why?
with those fucking eyes. You know what I'm talking about?
I know.
Because he has like this little pumpkin round head, and he has like no hair. He's
You
like,
know,
and he's
he
balding.
might be listening to this.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Why? But I'm just
But I'm gonna bleep out his last name.
Yeah.
Maybe the first name.
actually just
Place
bleep
it
out
works.
his full
Yeah,
name.
bleep out
So,
his name.
so we please do.
And I should
That's
probably
probably-
bleep out
Why?
Place of employment.
and
Well, we never said. Oh, yeah, actually, you did say.
Dockles.
I didn't say where I work, so
Yeah.
I'm good.
Oh God, I said I work.
Yeah.
Right, work. I can edit this out. That's no big
We
deal.
work
So-
at Walmart.
Yeah.
I don't. Fuck that.
I know. I'm just
No.
kidding.
So would you say that
But I don't know where I was going with that.
Motley Crue has a great fandom and Hulk Hogan has a great fandom?
No, I find that the people that still like them are probably terrible. It's like people who still like Kiss.
People who like Motley Crue are still alive is really kind of crazy.
They're sure they haven't died of gout.
They probably
Died of.
the central members are going to outlive
Can you
their
die
fans.
from syphilis?
I don't know. For sure. Blood infection? I don't know what syphilis is really.
You die from anything you try hard enough.
No, I think you just got to get
Anything's a dildo.
shots. If you're brave. We're going into the X zone here.
We're stretching the boundaries of PG-13.
Yeah,
Not
that's
safe
for
for
sure.
Um,
If you don't know what a dildo is, look it up.
it's a
on
place in
Google.
Newfoundland.
That's right.
Yep.
It's a great place to.
A lot of people get their picture taken next to the sign. Don't know why.
Because the lulls.
In
The
Butte,
walls.
Arizona. Is it Arizona?
Hell.
Butte.
Butte?
Yeah.
What a butte?
Butte. I don't know if it's Arizona or whatever, Montana.
Where's hell? There's a place
There's
called
a
hell.
bunch of them. I think one's in like Norway or something, or France or somewhere in Europe.
Maybe it's like Hull.
Because it's like H-E with like an umlaut and then one L.
Oh, so it's like Thor's realm of hell.
Oh, H-E-L. Yeah. I thought hell was a woman.
What?
Or is it Hera?
Oh, it is, believe me.
Why does it still say PPP episode 1 up there?
Because you just closed out and we started anew.
Okay.
We come anew.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. This is episode 2. We loved doing the first one so much that we figured we'd do a second. And
Hopefully you guys enjoy the first one and wanted to hear a second.
yeah, hopefully you don't turn it off as soon as you hear our voices.
God,
But they
quacking those guys are
Duck it.
boring. Ah, duck.
But
they made it this far. You could assume that.
yeah, they want to stay around.
They want to stick around.
But we actually think we have a little more structure to this episode.
Well,
As much as structure as we could have, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
So- to kick off, do we want to watch or add in our do not watch list? I have not seen this movie. Mike and Matt have, and I'm going to take their recommendation on this. So, what is the movie, guys?
I thought you were going to say expert opinion.
Well, it is expert opinions because I tend to
Export.
like what you guys enjoy. So, I mean, go ahead. What's the movie?
The movie's Gods of Egypt.
And who stars in this movie?
Gerard Butler and Elektra from season 2 of Daredevil.
And some other guys.
And Jaime Lannister.
Jamie Lannister's in it.
I thought that guy from Breaking Bad was in it, but it turns out it's not.
Bryan
Which
Cranston?
one?
His son.
Oh, he
The
plays.
guy played
He plays
Matt?
Aladdin. You know, the guy that plays like the shitty Aladdin guy.
Yeah, the little Aladdin man who goes running around. I thought that was.
He's like a desert thief boy.
I thought that
Are
was.
you talking about the paraplegic?
Yeah, I thought that was him.
Yeah, if you thought that was him the whole movie.
They have a similar face.
He doesn't have like the arm face.
No, he's being Aladdin and jumping around and stealing things.
Stop making crystal meth, Dad.
Don't be such a bitch, Mom.
Yeah.
That sounds like Phil. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit that down because we laugh too loud.
Oh.
We're gonna have to be less funny
We are to ourselves.
because we're probably the only ones laughing at this stuff.
So why
it's-
why is it such a bad movie, guys?
Where do you start? Oh God.
I've seen PS2 cutscenes that look better than the CG in this
Yeah,
movie.
Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prince of Persia Sands of Time
Yeah.
probably looks better.
I've had more fun watching over the shoulder someone playing God of War 2 than watching that movie.
Oh, because it is just
And sucking at it.
Yeah.
And dying constantly.
That's more engrossing than this entire plot, air quotes.
what I think they really went south on was, okay, here's the gods. Fucking, I don't remember the names. Are Ra and I don't remember who they were. Gerard Butler was God of War.
That's how it sat with you.
Yeah.
That's how good it
Yeah.
was that it sat with you. That
Well, there's like 3 main characters and 3 different plot lines that kind of all come together really badly. Because Aladdin boy, whatever his name is,
He wants to get a Gale.
he what?
He wants to get a girl.
Oh yeah, he wants to. Like, no, he has a girl, and he
I
wants.
thought you meant to blow.
A Gale.
Job.
But he wants
Okay,
to
PG.
impress her, but he's like the little slave man, and they're both sort of slaves. But he wants to impress her by stealing a dress right in front of the shopkeeper.
Yeah, he literally lifts up the shop and steals it. 'cause
The
he's a
sweet
shoplifter.
olives within,
Yeah. He leaves.
and he runs away and gives like this. Oh yeah, we kept calling her Nefertiti's because
Yes, she is all cleavage.
because yeah, like these Egyptian slaves had fat racks and
Apparently
like
push-up
those, like,
bras as
super
well.
like low cuts. We called her
Yeah.
Nefertiti's.
Nefertiti's?
And we can't. I don't remember her name either. She was forgettable.
They're all forgettable. Really.
And there was Nikolai Coster-Waldau, whatever the fuck his name is. Jamie Lannister was.
He's an Egyptian god with an eye patch.
Yeah, no, he was the.
He's always losing that
Yeah.
something. That
Yeah.
guy,
He looks like a
a
snake.
hand, an eye.
He looks like he should be staring at Escape from Cairo because he looks like Snake Plissken.
Plissken.
The Egyptian snake Plissken.
But the story was that the king of the Egypt gods. I don't remember who he is. Set maybe. I don't
Ra.
know. Ra, Set, whatever.
The dude's up there in the space shooting at a worm every night before
Yeah, and like
bedtime or something.
he's like a space boat shooting fireballs at a big worm.
Yeah.
And that's like the grandfather of Jaime Lannister and
Gerard Butler.
and Leonidas.
Yeah. And they're just fighting over thrones. So then
Yeah, 'cause-
Gerard Butler just
Kills.
Sparta kicks.
So
what's
you're
his
saying
face.
it's almost like a Game of Thrones?
Well, no. The thing is, I think they're trying
Yeah.
to literally follow the mythology of Egypt, because Gerard Butler kills the king of the gods, and then that's his brother. So then his nephew, who is Jaime Lannister, is like, "I killed my dad," and then tries to fight him, but he kicks the shit out of him. Gerard Butler kicks the shit out of Jaime Lannister, and then takes his eyes out, which are like glowing balls of stuff.
Yeah. It's just like a God of War thing. You just take the
Yeah.
eyes and then you have that power.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You take the Pegasus wings and now you can fly or something.
And you get fucking buddies Helios' head.
Yeah.
Medusa.
Yeah.
And yeah, Medusa's head, Helios'. You take off Helios' head too, don't you? And it's like super bright, and I don't know. I didn't play them.
What?
But yeah, and then he's like hanging around out in some mausoleum with no eyes.
Yeah.
Aladdin comes and is like, "Hey man, what you doing?
I need your
I
eyes or
stole
something.
your eye, one of them. Give them back to you."
Because his lady friend has been dead.
How did
She's
she
been-
die?
She's been deaded. I don't know why.
Oh, doesn't like that slave master shoot her from like a mile away with an arrow?
Yeah.
It's like they.
And she has zero reaction.
Yeah, and it's
Just
just
CG arrow.
it's just right over like where her heart is supposed to be, and she's like, "Oh," and then dies, and Buddy's like, goes full fucking.
Something
"No."
goes through you and you feel
You're like, "Oh,
a bit
fuck
upset.
it, let's just give up."
Yeah.
And so then he goes to Jaime Lannister and
Because
says,
he's the only one who could resurrect her from the land of the dead.
"Yeah, because he's the god of the sky, because he can do that." I don't know about Egyptian mythology, but that
Why?
works.
Do
Whatever.
you notice that we don't know the name of the character? We just keep calling him Jaime Lannister. He's a Macaulay Culkin kind of situation where, you're Kevin.
Yeah.
So you're Jaime now. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you.
For your whole life.
Pee Wee Herman is going to be Pee Wee.
I think his
Paul
name was
Rubin.
Set because
Was he
we
set?
kept
Or was
making
Gerard
set
Butler
match.
set?
we kept saying he's all set now, and then we kept saying stuff like that. And it was Ra. Don't know who that was. It was Set.
Ra is the god of sun.
Yeah.
That
God of the
It
sun.
was Jeffrey Rush who played him.
that was the guy in the boat shooting fireballs, right?
What? Yeah.
In the space boat shooting fireballs at a worm.
Yeah.
And
He was the guy from the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Who was,
oh yeah, Captain Barbarossa.
You're in a crappy movie.
Barbarossa,
Yes.
He just turned into
I kept saying you best be believing in troll threads. You're in one because this, yeah.
This is the thing.
And then like they have a little adventures to steal back his other eye, but Gerard Butler goes full fucking like Adolf Hitler and slaves everyone, makes him build the biggest friggin' obelisk, goes up like 1,000 kilometers into the sky.
It's definitely overcompensating
Yeah.
for something because it is a huge
I
black monolith.
You're talking and you're saying Gerard Butler gets, and all I'm thinking of is Leonidas, and
That's what I kept saying, calling him Leonidas.
it's sort of like I take it. I haven't seen the movie, so I'm just going off of my mind's eye here, and I'm saying the casting, they tried to cast too many big names into this movie and when you do that, you run the risk of having too much character realization. You know that this character played this character in another movie, and then character in another movie and another movie. So
It's like William Shatner.
You can't.
yeah,
He'll never not be Captain Kirk.
you can't
Yeah.
break the idea that this is he's playing somebody else.
Yeah, you just picture him as their other roles.
Like, why
And when you do that with so many bigger names or people that have been in a lot of other things,
Then it's just
it tends to
jumbled,
get
and it's a confusing mess.
yeah.
But then we got people like Ron Howard's brother. Who's that? Like, is that guy?
Clint Howard.
Clint Howard.
He's
Who's-
great.
Is that guy in that thing? You know? Or,
Yeah.
but
You've seen him somewhere. It's just
Yeah.
where have
This movie is also, I think it takes too much credit from the Star Wars prequels. 'Cause this seems how it's, because everything is filmed on a green screen, on a set. There's no
did you just say filmed?
filmed.
No, sorry.
I'm saying that from now on though.
Filmed.
Yeah, everything is on a green screen set, and it looks all too fake and polished,
Yeah.
and just
and
clearly like this is staged in such a way that it's just
green screen can be done right. It can also be done wrong. It makes and I tend to agree that green screen just doesn't look real. Anything with a real life that actually has real backgrounds and real tangible backgrounds, even though there might be a lot of 3D aspects put in after. Hence, Jurassic Park. I was going to say the new Mad Max.
Yes.
New Mad Max.
I was
they
so wrong
did-
about that movie.
That movie is just excellent beyond all shadow of a doubt,
Yeah, I agree.
and a lot of the backgrounds you
CG.
would never have known.
Mhm.
A lot of the backgrounds were CG, yet everything that was happening was actual.
yeah. When it's used sparingly like that, just as the height and everything else.
Yeah, but when
That's why it's
everything
good.
is
I think
CG,
it's best used when it accentuates.
yeah,
You know, the physical sets and the
Not just to create an entire set.
Yeah.
Like there's parts in that Gods of Egypt movie
well, that's all it was.
when they're in a desert, but it's not a real desert. Like they just went out to like a sand pit somewhere. And just
Water
filmed.
sand pits.
Yeah, why not? And then like, there's just clearly like they have like a child's little sand. What are those things called?
Castle.
this
Sandbox.
Sandbox.
There's this very small sandbox. 2 actors can be there, and everything else is a green screen.
Yeah,
They're like the one where I think, because it's weird because in the movie the gods are like probably 3 times as tall as people. So
okay,
it's like the Hobbit and Gandalf sort of
Yeah.
situation
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
Jaime Lannister was like 12 feet tall and Aladdin's about 6 foot.
But they couldn't
Not even
bother
6
to do any forced perspective or anything like that,
Yeah.
or hire like a short.
They just CG'd the hell out of
It's
it.
Yeah,
like the
it
first-
just looks so.
Like first
weird.
Captain America, where Steve Rogers is like Chris Evans' head
Yeah.
on a little tiny body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the body of your son. with Chris Evans'
Yeah.
head. You know?
My son
I can do
is
this all
5.
day.
Yeah. So it's just this little tiny body and a huge head and a super deep voice.
That brings up another question, though, because I'm just thinking of the Star Wars prequels. And what's the one where Anakin and Padme are sitting down to have dinner together, and he force lifts a pear, and it goes through the air, and she catches it on the fork.
Couldn't even use just like a real pear.
They could have put a pear on a wire, on a fishing rod. I would have went over with my fishing rod and helped them out. Like, it would have been that little of a problem.
What? And she
takes the most fake bite of, like, obviously there's nothing in your mouth.
Joe loves those movies, especially in the first one. You know, in in the first 20 minutes. You know, when they put the gas in the room with the Jedi,
Yes.
and there's this all the droids go to the door, and the droid says, and the little hologram of that weird dude is like, "They must be dead by now." And Joe loves it. That's the background of his computer. He loves it so much.
How would you love that?
I think he loves it because it's bad.
Ironically,
Have you seen The Room?
Is that the one by Quentin Tarantino?
No, you were in for a treat.
No, that's
4 rooms.
4 rooms.
The one with the apartment.
The Room?
The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
Is it
my god.
Is it a bad movie?
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably one of the worst I've ever seen.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I'll show you some clips
Hi,
later.
Denny.
Wait, yes, I seen clips of it. Yes.
And he has like these white cargo pants and he's this long black hair.
Yes.
I did not hit that. I did not.
He has got the worst, worst acting ever.
Because everything is voiced over because they couldn't afford like proper sound.
So they did
mics.
Yeah, they couldn't afford it, so they voiced it.
So everything is ADR.
Yeah.
The scene where he gets the flowers. Oh, nice doggy.
A dozen red roses, please. It's this weird accent.
Sure, Johnny, you're my number 1 customer.
You're number 1 customer.
I can't do that to myself.
See,
I can't waste that time. I'm bad.
I live for
Why?
like that.
See, I can't.
I love it. Like,
That's to the point where it's so bad that it's good.
Yeah, that and like Deathstalker.
Yeah.
Deathstalker 2. I've never seen the 3rd or the 4th.
The funny thing is, and he's our friend, I guess. I don't know if he's my friend yet. Hopefully you are, Joe.
Joe wouldn't listen to this.
No. Oh, okay.
He's too good.
Okay, but hopefully it seems it's easier to make bad than good. It's hard to make something good, comparative. It takes practice and time and practice and some more practice to make something good, and people with a lot of experience and knowledge and foresight, and making something bad is really easy.
Look at this podcast.
Yeah. It could this
anybody can do it.
Anybody can make something bad. Hopefully, this actually has some goodness to it.
It'll have some quality.
Yeah, exactly. But if you like bad, it's easy to find bad, I think.
Well, what gives me hope is the fact that Deathstalker, Samurai Cop, The Room, that they were made. That gives me hope. That gives me hope for this. That maybe with a bit of effort and like a bit of non-shittiness, we can actually make something that's worth watching and that's actually good, not something that's just laughed at.
Those situations are almost like
we want people to laugh.
Like proper alignment of all the planets, that they made something that was so horrible, but it's still so entertaining. Yeah. Because like Gods of Egypt is a bad movie, and it's not even fun to watch. It's kind of mostly boring. There's like some bad things about it, but for like a runtime of like two hours and like 10-15 minutes, it's just not worth sitting through.
There. So that's your recommendation.
Yeah.
Do not sit through it. It's 2 hours of your life you'll never get back.
It's like watching Human Centipede. It's not worth watching.
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually had that movie at the back of my brain. I'm intrigued, but because you say that,
it's time in your life you cannot get back.
That's right.
And you will hate it. That will eat at you because you're like, man, I could have slept. I could have done anything for those 2 hours. But you sat there and you watched this and you wasted it.
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes me angry because people are like, oh, well, I want to watch it. No, you don't. You don't know what you want.
I know what you want.
I know you don't want this.
I just got a text. Sorry to be random. I just got a text from your wife saying you coming home for supper. Yeah,
Yes,
I
I
should
will
think
come over
so.
supper.
Yeah. This episode won't be as long as the last.
Yeah, that was sort of the inaugural get to grips with what we're going to talk about. So you can sort of get our personalities, get a grip of us.
We're going to be random, but random's fun.
Hey, it's better than this. Isn't the evening news.
No.
I think that just us talking and bantering and doing stuff like this, I think it's good enough and funny, and I hope everyone else will.
Hit us up, send us some money. We can buy headsets for each one of us to give us money. We like money.
I have a Kickstarter. Let's get a Kickstarter and they go, just get money.
Just get money. Just GoFundMe. Let's start a GoFundMe or a PayPal account.
Let's start all of it.
Get a PayPal account.
Patreon.
We're gonna call it a Patreon. There we go. We'll have to get a Patreon.
Pick some perfect podcast Patreon.
Oh man.
We'll put it into the show notes. All the links.
Links in the description below.
Yeah. We'll make sure that you have a way to send us money because money's good. Money's good. If we can get better equipment, we can. It would be nice to sit down out near
with like headsets and like proper boom mics and pop shields and chairs
and beer.
Some of these milk crates that we're crouched on.
Yeah, like the dirt we're standing in.
Right now, I have my rubber boots because I could afford a pair of rubber boots. I'm standing in a puddle of mud, so
that's what he sleeps in.
Listen, we need money, please.
Well, let's not
for a price of a cup of coffee
every day. You could
fund us, so we don't have to live like mongrels.
We don't have to crowd around my little webcam, not a webcam, my little USB microphone. And in like a room that we make the room hot. Like I'm getting uncomfortable.
It's warm in here. It is a bit warm.
It's just straight up man heat and computer heat.
It's hot man heat in here. But
that could have been taken so wrongly. But it's just bad.
You made me think of something John said. I'm gonna bleep out that name. We were in Phil's basement. I would think I was playing.
He's in Beep's basement. Yeah.
We can say Phil. They don't know who he is. We'll say his last name. But we were. If she's listening, she's probably gonna know the story. Phil and John were playing World of Warcraft. I was on the Xbox. We were all in the same room, in a small room. It's about the size of a bathroom. And I was playing Battlefield or something on Xbox, playing something, and John and Phil were playing World of Warcraft. So it's 3 pretty much computers and 3 guys in a room, summertime.
That's gotta be.
How many open bags of Doritos were there?
There were like at least one.
Oh. And I think
it was Lay's original, Lay's regular. Oh. And what?
Was there Mountain Dew?
No, I don't think it was Mountain Dew. I think it was like we had some beer or something, and we were all just sort of
better than Mountain Dew.
And Chloe's Phil's sister, she's like these sports crowd friends, hockey players, right? And I was playing Call of Duty. Is what I was doing. COD 4, and they opened the door and they're like, "What are you? What's going on, boys? What are you doing?" And we're like, and they opened the door. And we were having a little chat, and then one guy was like, "Man, it's hot in here." And John just out of reflex, because just our sense of humor, John was like, "Yeah, it smells like hot man sex in here." And then we all started laughing. And then these hockey players kind of looked at us like, "What the hell?" And then we were laughing. And they kind of just like slowly closed the door, just left. And I mean, it never really dawned on us till later, and we were like talking. Like, man, it was a weird thing to say.
That is a strange.
John said it, and then we were like, "What the hell did you say that for?" So I don't know, maybe laugh. So if you mention it to Phil next time he's at work, which I don't know when that is, say it's hot man sex in here, and he's gonna know what that is. But yeah, I think we're gonna. I have a fan somewhere in this apartment. I'm gonna need to bust that bad boy out. Not if the weather stays like this. Though.
We don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, not if the weather stays like this. We're coming up on the 29 minute 50. I can't even
we got one more thing we got to talk about. So if we got to go to 35 minutes, it's all right.
All right. Time check there.
Yeah. The best worst fandoms that we've ever been privy to, or
this can be its own episode.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little sampler for
a sampler.
Let's try to contain this though, because it'll go for an hour and another. It'll go be another.
Well, I know you love the Game of Thrones fandom. They're your favorite people.
Don't.
You're like, you hang out with them. You have like a little book club, and you're really into
back
them.
and forth. I hate them.
Why? I'm okay. That I love Game of Thrones. I watch Game of Thrones, but that's
too.
as far as I go when it comes to Game of Thrones. I mean, I used to talk to a gentleman that I work with. He watched it faithfully. So whenever I would see him, which we never worked the same hours, so it was only in passing. Very, very rare. So it was never, my wife doesn't watch it. My kids are way too young. Yeah. So what is it about people that...
Well, it's mostly the sort of the Facebook majority of fans. And it's not that I'm trying to be like elitist or say, oh, I'm better than them. But I'm so ducking sick of hearing like stupid fan theories. You know, L plus R is J equals J. You heard about that one?
That's
Jon Snow's parents.
Yes.
I'm so sick of hearing that shit. It's going on Facebook and saying like, oh, fan theory, but nope, okay, unlike this page. Nope, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just the stupid stuff about everyone sucking the dick of Jon Snow. I don't care. He's one of my least favorite characters. Everyone's like, oh my god, how can you think that? Well, because I have a fucking brain and I have my own opinion.
That's right.
He's one of my least favorite characters. He's stupid. He's whiny. And he knows nothing. I'm not a fan of Kit Harington in general. I think the accent he puts on for Jon character is very dopey. But, I'll go home. I don't know what to do. Fucking I hate it. I hate it so much.
I don't care.
And this is
but this is my swamp, not yours.
But it just, his accent is dopey. His face is stupid. I don't like his character. I don't like him. So when everyone's just losing their mind talking about this and that, I'm like, no, you know what? Talk about someone else. Talk about someone besides Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
They're two of the most one-dimensional characters. Two of the most one-dimensional characters on an amazing show with the most amazing characters ever written.
Listen, totally not. But
what?
They're not the best characters. I'm agreeing.
Oh,
they're not
okay,
the best characters
okay,
written because you gotta I mean. Jumping dines and pulling up
Dead air.
Yeah, brain fart.
I like Tyrion Lannister though.
Tyrion Lannister, exactly. They write him really good.
Yep.
They write him really well, and I enjoy. But when it comes to other people, I tend to just put on the blinders and not pay no attention. So for me, it's I don't have a problem. Yourself, Mike?
Well, what the previous was saying, I've only ever read the first book. I've only ever watched the first season.
Oh.
So my knowledge of everything is kind of
Oh, wow.
My interest is kind of
For years you called it Lame of Groans.
I did.
This season has been... Have you been watching? You haven't watched?
I know all the spoilers, but I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched?
No.
Okay. More has happened in this season, in one season, than has happened in 3.
Yeah, but I mean,
is that because
it's so condensed, and I think it's because the writer,
George R. R. Martin,
that gentleman, isn't up to it.
Yeah.
He's
it's not a season
not even,
based on a book. It's just
they're going on with their own, and there's no filler. There is no filler whatsoever. Every episode ends with something.
Well, the thing is, what I think they're trying to do is they see the sensationalism of big events that have happened in Game of Thrones, and they want to replicate that every time.
Every week have a big event.
Every week have a big event, like the Battle of Blackwater Bay. You know, when Jon Snow dies. Spoiler alert.
The Red Wedding.
The Red Wedding. They want to have that every episode because that's the biggest viewers get. You know, the biggest numbers of viewers tune in and they see that sort of thing.
But
you can't have like a season finale every week.
No. Well, it's not a season finale kind of size of.
But you know what I mean? It's much of a oh shit. You know?
It's every episode seems to have not just potatoes. There's meat there as well.
Yeah, but what I find is it's almost world building if it's sort of filler. It's sort of little characters you never see again. You know, it's this, okay, well, we're building this whole world up. These are the characters, these are the main characters that interact with them, and then at the end some big thing happens.
They're not really going with the small characters.
That's what I'm talking about. It's really irritating me because that's really why I liked Game of Thrones. Because
because you like those small characters.
Well, because the small things add up to the big things. Like, you know, you do you remember like what happened to Gendry? What happened, you know, to all the characters that are just fucking lost now, that aren't Arya, that aren't fucking Tyrion Lannister, that aren't, you know, Daenerys. They're all just, it's not like The Simpsons where you never see any small characters anymore. They're all just main characters now. And it's just, okay, this guy's talking to that guy, oh my god, okay, that's it. And then it's just, that was a terrible, that was terrible. But do you know what I mean? Where it's just main characters and what they're doing, running around. It's not just sort of adventures that happen, this, that, and the other. It's not, you know, I can't explain it because I'm just too brain farty right now. But do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's no longer, no meat to it, no heart to it anymore.
There's no peas and carrots along with the meat and potatoes.
It's just sort of set pieces now.
Yeah.
Like
no gravy.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, here's Brienne of Tarth, and she meets that, whatever that guy's name, with the huge beard. Yeah. Okay, now, they met. Why? Okay. And that I'll end a sentence in a minute. And but do you know what I'm trying to say? Is that the heart of it is now gone because George Martin hasn't caught up. Well, he's taken his sweet time.
He is.
He hasn't caught up to where his style of writing affects the show.
Yeah.
They're just going for sensationalism now. Sort of.
Because well, they're going network kind of TV now. They don't have something to work off of.
Seems like they're having the opposite problem that a lot of anime and manga have. Manga. Because
Animo and Mango.
DBZ for a while, when it was still current and airing in Japan and whatever, the Akira Toriyama was doing a weekly shonen, and that's why there's so many filler episodes of DBZ where they're like, oh, go get a driver's license, or they're doing this. And they gotta charge up for 2 episodes because he's still writing the story. The
full one season that was based off of one book, from what I gathered.
Yeah.
I do not like Dragon Ball Z, but there is, from what I gathered, the one season is one fight.
Yeah.
It is from one book, and it's because Akira Toriyama was not near to where he had to be.
It takes a lot longer to write a book than to make a show, I think.
One guy, it takes a lot.
He's doing the story, he's doing the penciling, he's doing the inking, he's doing all that and throwing it out there.
And I mean, Naruto, for example.
Same thing.
It goes out to Shonen Jump. Is where it first gets. And I think that's weekly, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weekly.
That's weekly in Japan.
It's like one chapter.
He has
gateway anime.
He has 5 people or 4 or 5 people just on beside him that help him do the art.
Yeah.
He has people that are doing backgrounds or trees or drawing specific things so he can keep his
pace of the story.
So that's for a comic book. This is not, and if Akira Toriyama was doing the comic book by himself, no wonder the anime was getting held back. So
and then they re-released. They did it was DBZ Kai, was they just chopped out all the filler. So what would have been 10 episodes is now 2 episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
So everything's shortened up and everything. So it's a lot more condensed.
And that to me would be more. I mean, if I like Dragon Ball Z, which
I grew up with it, so
it's the same problem like Game of Thrones is having, or is it's opposite now because it's gotten better that there's no filler now.
To me, it seems like there's no filler, but
because the filler that was there before was filler that he had in the book.
Yes,
but the filler in DBZ was just filler that they were just spinning their wheels.
But it wasn't named the other fillers. Well, I don't know. I kind of like. It sounds kind of ridiculous.
You
but I
like
the
the story of
I
it.
like the filler. You know?
You like the story of it. And,
Yeah, but that filler adds to the whole world, and like you said,
Yeah.
the world building, which is important in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
When you're building a history and other characters and things like that. But when you got Goku and Piccolo going to get their driver's license for an episode because the fight is going to be delayed because of rain.
was it a Cloud's license? Because
It's just a Nimbus, isn't it?
It was like a hover car.
Yeah, of course it
okay,
was.
because I thought they flew around on clouds.
Yeah, I think Chi-Chi was saying, we gotta get a car. We gotta get a license. Go get a license.
The best thing that
And then
Akira Toriyama, he did the no, that's the guy who did Akira Toriyama. Did he do the designs for
Dragon Quest and
Dragon Quest
Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chrono
best
Trigger.
thing he did is
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger.
I was listening to Chrono Trigger soundtrack this morning, actually.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
I never
Yeah.
played it
It's
until it
amazing.
got re-released for the Nintendo DS.
Oh,
Yeah.
best RPG I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I
Can't sing
played
its
Final
praises.
Fantasy VII. I put 100 hours in my first playthrough.
I've never beaten it.
No?
Nope, never beaten it.
Oh, it was pretty.
I lost a lot of cred, did I?
I've never.
No.
I've only played one
I've-
Final Fantasy game, and I've not beaten it.
Which one's that one?
3, 6, Super Nintendo
See,
one.
no, I got no. It's not. It sounds bad, but I got no time for those.
You got no time for that.
I got no time for them because it's like,
I'll say I was playing it perfectly legally.
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
yep. It's-
And it was just taking too much time.
because
Yeah.
it just does take. It's a big time commitment.
I got probably like halfway
It
through.
is.
I got to the point when the thing happens, the big event.
Doesn't it like the world explode
Yeah.
and then you got to play the rest of the game? And the
I guess
world all
it's like
shitty?
been 20, 30 years. It's not like
Okay.
a spoiler anymore.
But
No, exactly.
I say that the one I sunk the most time to was FF10. That was my Final Fantasy game.
Have you ever started playing a game and not just an RPG or a JRPG for that matter, where you start playing the story, you get into it and you start playing it, and you get so far in the game and the story, and then you put it down for a while, and then you say, I should play that again sometime after, and you're just like,
What the hell?
what happened now?
Yeah.
I
Mass
can't
Effect 2.
remember.
I
Mass
think you
Effect
get
2.
Mass Effect 2. That's like it's. I don't know.
You
I think
can't fathom it.
I think I'm kind of biased because. Oh, sorry. I think I'm kind of biased because that's like my number 2. I don't know why.
That
it's
happens
so-
to me with a lot of games, though. Because
My
usually if
number
I'm
two
going to
game of all
finish
time.
it, I got to finish it in like a couple of days.
I know-
Start. Because if I put it down and try and pick it back up again, it's not going to work.
I know that if I were to try and do that with anything that Shigeru Miyamoto does, I am going to be confused because I'm confused going into them games.
Who's that?
Oh,
I should know that.
that's Metal Gear Solid. No, wait.
That's, no,
That's Miyamoto's.
I was
sorry.
gonna say, what? No?
Um,
That's Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima. I'm sorry. Shigeru Miyamoto's Mario.
Nintendo.
I ain't confused about Mario. I'm going to say that right now.
Didn't
No.
he dead?
No.
What
He
do I
just-
keep
he
thinking
left.
people are dead?
He's gone away from Konami.
Okay. Ooh.
So
He's
you might
with
as well-
Sony now. He's
The-
with just Sony, and he's making a game with Sony.
There's a new Metal Gear Solid like teaser, and everyone hates it. Or I dream. I might have dreamt that. I don't know. But
If they're making another, it's without.
Because it takes them like 10
Hideo
years
Kojima.
to do a single one.
Yeah.
But I've played every Metal Gear Solid, and they are absolute perfection.
Even 4?
I'm confused though.
Especially
I'm so
4.
confused. It confuses
It
the hell out
tends,
of me.
it tends to confuse. You know,
The first one was to me like
Terrible.
that's when I terrible.
And-
I loved it.
NES.
No.
Oh,
That's
Metal Gear Solid.
okay.
The
Metal Gear
one
Solid.
for PlayStation
Yeah,
1.
it was. The controls were terrible. Sorry.
Yeah, the controls were.
Well, I mean, everything was
But you
bad.
got past it. And
That's just the norm back then. That was just what you were used to.
I
Everything was tank
loved
controls.
Vulcan Raven. I loved, Sniper Wolf. I loved the characters and their way that they're sort of their powers, their special powers.
I liked Psycho Mantis
Psycho Man
because that blew my mind.
that you had to.
You plug it out in the control
Spoiler
wheel
alert.
socket. Oh god! And there's pictures of like Hideo Kojima in the background laughing, like
Yeah.
he's just like ha, and then there's like 3 of them.
Doesn't he comment on what's on your memory card too?
Yeah.
I see you've been playing RE2.
Castlevania.
Yeah, mostly Konami games. Or,
Yeah.
But I love
Definitely
that.
on the night.
You never see innovation like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know that stuff is insane.
Because that's an invasion of privacy.
If you don't know
I have my
already that when you're playing through the Psycho Mantis section in Metal Gear Solid 1, if when you get up to this boss, if you're having a hard time, you just unplug the controller from port 1 and put it into port 2 and start controlling your character, and because you changed how your character thinks, you are able to defeat the boss much easier.
Because he's like telekinesis powers. You control everything you do.
Yeah. So that's metagaming.
I think you read your mind.
Yeah.
Or something.
And the fact that the only way to get that one codec is to look at the back of the box.
Look at the back of the box. Yeah.
So a lot of fourth wall breaking kind of things like that.
That was pretty cool at the time.
Now, what disappoints me very much is he's not going to make a game, The Silent Hills, with Guillermo del Toro.
No.
That would have been unbelievable with that game.
Wasn't that what PT was?
Yeah.
Like the test?
Yeah, it was Silent Hills, and I played it, and it disturbed me. Like, Silent Hill, we're going into 45 minutes plus. Silent Hill is my absolute favorite game series of all time. It's just amazing. I don't care what anyone says.
It's hard to believe that the reason they had so much fog in Silent Hill
because they couldn't afford the processing.
Because they couldn't afford the processing power the PlayStation couldn't handle.
Yeah,
so that's why it's so eerie.
But it's a good cover, to do.
It
that.
is a very good cover.
And what I find is they can explain away all the stuff that people complain about. Like people say, the controls are really, really blocky and stuff. I'm like, and then one guy was like, it's really blocky and hard to control because you're not supposed to be in Silent Hill and it's supposed to be awkward and weird. And I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
That's crazy. But then it's almost like a cop-out.
It's bad because you're bad.
Yeah, it's big because you're bad and you're Silent Hill. You shouldn't be there.
You weren't in an area that was good.
But Silent Hill 2, I think that's my number one game of all time. Because just the story is unbelievable. You ever play it?
Haven't played a Silent Hill.
You owe it to yourself.
I don't know if I could go back.
Everything but the puzzles in Silent Hill 2 was a little bit.
I find they're very almost like adventure game logic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drop this flashlight down.
Take the flashlight and the mace and put them together with the lobster.
Well, you have to get like.
There's a part where he has pick up a China doll and put it down a vent, and then he has to go down to the floor because it's smashed, and then he gets a key out of it.
Yeah,
so just smashing on.
You couldn't have just dropped it.
Yeah, had to go 2 stories through.
You get a
laundry chute.
You get a 6-pack of canned juice.
Yeah,
and you throw it down to a laundry chute, and it dislodges all the garbage that has a key in it.
How would you know there would be a key in the laundry chute?
Because Japanese adventure game logic.
The last time I played that, I had to have a wiki open next to me.
I had to
because I was like, I only have 2 hours to do this, and I cannot just wander around this abandoned hotel or hospital, wherever I am at.
Do you remember Space Quest?
What? No.
Okay.
Or Space Ace.
I gotta realize my age for a second. There's a game made by Sierra.
Oh my God!
The company Sierra.
Space
Quest 3 came out back. I think there was. I'm pretty sure it was 3, and I can't remember the year it was.
Is it first person?
It was a point and click.
Oh, okay.
And I had bought a magazine that had the cover was Space Quest, how to get through it.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, I read through that walkthrough. I didn't even own a computer. And I read through this, I was reading it, I was so engrossed, I went right through it. And then I was over at my friend's house who owned a computer. One weekend we were hanging out, and his father comes home and hands him a copy of Space Quest 3.
You were stoked.
I was stoked because I knew all the answers and how to get through the game. We were almost through the game.
Of good use.
It was. What do I do next? Okay, do this. Okay, up to the next. His father finally came over and looked at us and said, "Okay, turn the game off. I just bought that for $60. You're not finishing it in one friggin' night." Yeah. So he made us, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm going to shut up now because
There's no challenge.
There's
No
like with those
challenge
old-
because I knew it all.
That's the whole point of those old adventure games, like Grim Fandango.
Yeah.
I played through that recently, and if you know what you're doing, what to do, you can finish it in no time.
It don't take any.
Most of the time in
That's
those
right.
games is you're just trying to wander around and explore and find things and figure out what you have to do.
Figure out. Yeah, exactly.
But once you know what you're doing, you can just breeze right through
That's
it.
right. It's
I
not
can't-
like Gears of War where you.
There's some extra
There's-
challenge of like,
That's right.
you gotta pay attention.
I don't know. I kind of played it a little bit, and I couldn't figure out what the hell to do.
Grim Fandango.
But
I heard the remake is you were playing the
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah.
That's out on Steam. I'm going to assume.
Steam, PS3, PS4.
everything.
Okay.
No, but like you were saying, like this ridiculous logic to some of the adventure games.
Yeah.
There was one point in Silent Hill, in the hospital, where you had to get like 5 combinations because there was like 5 locks on this one box,
Yeah.
and you had to put your hand in a toilet. You had to do a bunch of stuff to get to take 5 locks off this one box and find a key to open it. And you open it up, and it's a hair. And you use the hair.
Single hair.
Yeah, a single hair, and then you put a hook on the hair,
Yep.
put it down a drain to get like this piece of paper that had the combination to another lock on it. And you're like,
How
What the-
would you think of? Why not use a piece of fishing line?
no, or like just put your fingers in there. Or like, it's just, and there's another
Or something that makes sense to hook onto
Yeah.
a hook,
Yeah,
Well,
the
not
logic
air.
is just...
one of your shoelaces.
Yeah,
You could
there's
have pulled
no
the hair out of
logic.
your head.
Yeah, right? And that's the logic. But there's another time, late in the game in the prison, that's a terrifying level, by the way. The game unsettles me to no end, that game. I have to stop playing it after about an hour to settle down.
Yeah.
And there's this points where, have you seen the movie?
No, I
My
haven't.
God.
I know.
You gotta watch the movie. Okay.
I'm under a rock.
But might as well go an hour.
Why?
Okay, we got 9 minutes. But yeah, there's a points where Silent Hill will go into crazy dark Silent Hill,
Yeah.
where like shit hits the fan, where it's like, okay, everything's super dark, the walls are bleeding and rusting,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
there's more monsters. Now the entire prison level is in dark Silent Hill, and you can't stop because shit
Why?
is coming at you.
And
The music is crazy.
you triangle head. You see him
No,
a lot.
I see him twice. But
Oh, that's it. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But 3 times. But yeah, it's not there. But it's even still like the fixed camera angles makes it feel claustrophobic. Anyway, there's a point where you have to open a trap door, but there's no handle. It's like a metal door on the floor.
Okay.
So you're carrying around like a crowbar, pipe, wood. Almost a wood with a stick in it. Wood with a stick with a nail in it. Gun, shotgun. You have to find a wax doll, a horseshoe, and a lighter to make a handle. Like use the
wax
damn
doll.
yeah. It's like a wax doll.
You gotta melt the wax.
You gotta melt the wax, put it on there, put the horseshoe in to make a handle. I'm like, you got a
Wax.
fucking crowbar.
Aha.
You got a crowbar.
Wax is going to help you hold. Is going to help you.
Yep.
So basically, you're holding the horseshoe by basically the bottom with one of the ends into the hole,
Well,
and that helps you lift it up.
Yeah, because you know
That's enough.
you just come into okay, combine, bloop, 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 you combine, and it's sort of like fades to black, fades back in really quick, and you just see the handle there. And I was like, get the fuck
Wax.
out of here. Get out of town. What is this?
But a crowbar, which most people would use to open
Just
the
right
trap
away,
door.
Because it's the other, not the hook, not like bent end, but the other end's used for prying things,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly, yeah.
I'm not an engineer, but
It's a crowbar.
and yeah, that's one of
that
the
doesn't really
examples.
explain it.
That's one of the examples of the logic.
Pry bar, they call it.
Yeah.
sometimes. So
There's-
for prying.
Also, another time in the very last level of the game where you have to light up something. I think you have to put lights. You get a light to do something. I don't remember what. But you have to find a can, like a big can.
Yeah.
Then you have to find a can opener. Then you open the can. The can's full of light bulbs.
A can of light bulbs.
Yes. And
That's
then-
how they're usually sold, right?
Yeah, and I remember playing it, and I'm like, get a can. I need a light bulb. Where the hell can I get a light bulb?
So you open
And I
up
was
the
like,
can.
and I was like,
The
I
can.
can't.
Whack.
I'm gonna open this can. See what's in there. Can light bulbs.
There's a lot of bad guys
And
around. I need to open this can.
And then I got annoyed,
Oh,
and I
there's
like
light bulbs
paused the
in there.
game, and I had to walk around. I was like,
Quack.
this
Quack.
fucking game, this
Quack.
fucking stupid logic. What
Ducking.
is this?
Ducking. Quack.
Yeah.
Quack. Quack.
And-
Quack.
I was like, oh. So I had to keep playing games. I wanted to finish it, but
Yeah.
I was like, this is so stupid.
You have to think like Japanese person.
You have to think like a mentally deranged person.
Yeah.
That's right. You have to.
It's like that joke. You
Break
see
them.
someone at a funeral. How do you see him again? You kill someone and you see him again. Something like that. So you think like I'm a serial killer. But yeah, like that's the ridiculous logic.
Maybe that's it. Anybody who went through these games without maybe the systems were connected to the internet, was sending a feed to the FBI. If you went through Silent Hills or Silent Hill without help, then you were institutionalized.
You were like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you were institutionalized.
I get all my light bulbs by the can.
Yeah, it's like drawing a perfect circle.
Yeah.
They say if you draw a perfect circle, then you're mentally deranged. So
I know a guy who can draw a perfect circle.
And he's crazy.
He's not
He's
even
crazy.
out. He's
He's
not
crazy.
leveled out. That guy.
no,
I think I know what you're talking about, but I won't name drop.
You do?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
you can say letters.
What's his
Their
name?
initials.
AS.
I don't know.
I
don't know him.
We know two deranged people.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I draw perfect circles.
this was a far cry. Your wife says supper's ready.
Oh man, I'm excited.
My
What do you got
my
for
wife
supper?
is probably
Chicken
trying.
and veggies.
I'm having chicken and veggies too.
I don't have anything ready.
Well, that sucks.
I'm
I thought you were making
sorry.
lentil soup or something.
Yeah, and
Maybe we should shut this one down then.
Well, yeah, I think that was a long segment of best and worst fandoms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we never got to. We never even touched the furries. This My Little Pony. The
We'll just talk about video
Rockabilly.
games in general.
Video games in
anime,
general.
Yeah.
Walking Dead, whatever floats your boat.
Montreal,
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs fans.
Bunch of scumbags.
And what on that note,
All right. Well, I think this is a good place as any to call it quits for the second one. Yeah, this is the Perfect Pixel Podcast. Well, I
Why?
fucked that up.
oh,
Say it again.
Someone else do it then. I
Why?
fucked it up.
This is the Perfect Pixel Podcast. Why?
That's what too. It's the Pixel Perfect.
That's right.
It's the,
You got you.
the
Pixel Perfect Podcast. Signing off.
Hey, you owe me a Coke. Jinx. I meant to say-
Stereo is a good thing we got 2 levels here.
I got it. Signing off.